Hello, it's been a while. Welcome to Batcast 66. It's a podcast where we watch all of the 1966 Batman television series, and then we talk about each episode every week or every other week, whatever we're doing right now. My name's Kendall.
And I'm Scott.
Today, we're talking about Batman episode 27, The Curse of Tut. It was written by Robert C. Dennis and Earl Barrett and directed by Charles R. Rondell. But first, let's just backtrack and talk about the Joker.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kendall had some real life obligations, so he couldn't make it to the last couple episodes, but his wife Kayla has stepped up as co-host for me. But we figure you've now had a chance to catch up and just give your quick thoughts on those episodes.
Overall, I thought it was pretty poorly constructed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had a lot of the tropey bits, end of part one, death trap. But it really felt like there was maybe a loose outline for the episode where it's like, all right, this could be for either the Riddler or the Joker.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of picked one to throw in there.
It almost feels like they didn't have Cesar Romero for like as much time as they need to do for an episode. Because like you feel like he's barely in it and he's kind of I don't know, yeah. I don't know. It feels extremely undercooked. But that's why we gave
Yeah.
it a one.
What's that?
We
You
gave
gave
him
it
a 1 star for his plan in that. So
well, yeah, especially at the end where it's just like, oh, it was all fake. It's
yeah,
just like, what the heck?
yeah,
Um, but there were a couple cool things. I did like the like hench lady,
yeah,
how like she didn't seem to fall in love with Batman the way others have. She's just
yeah.
like, yo, why are we gonna kill somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Uh her qualms came from more of a moral place than like this like
Batman's
attraction to Batman.
he's so handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I,
Um
I I get it, but well, all right. Figure people might have been a little bit curious what your take on that episode would have
and
been.
also, so I haven't listened to yours and Kayla's episode yet. Or episodes rather. But like that stinger at the end, what did you all think of that?
I remember it being kind of like dumb.
It was just like Commissioner Gordon calls Batman and is like, "Oh, I heard a rumor you're running for mayor of California."
Yeah, that I couldn't find any information on this, but like it feels like that was like a topical reference to like something. Like maybe some guy named Wayne was running for governor of California in real life in the 60s.
I
I I,
wonder.
I don't know. Something it has to be something like that. It didn't make any sense with the rest of the episode.
It's like, what is this?
Yeah. Or
And
the
then they
episode
just
came
kept
up
like,
short and they just needed to add like a couple of minutes to it. So they
yeah.
just came up with this really dumb gag.
And then they were just like loads of fat shaming right before that. I
Yeah.
was not a fan of it, really.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, those are all my thoughts on the Joker episodes. Uh King Tut.
Yeah. I know we usually start when we get a new villain, we start like with a history of them, but this is his first appearance ever. He was created for the TV show.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I
Uh
think he's an interesting like I only know about him from the 66 comics. I've never seen any episodes with him.
I I I know I've seen his episodes when I was a kid, but like I don't remember any distinct details. And then he's just kind of always been one of those, like, outside of the big four villains, he's one of those ones that people talk about with in regards to this show because he's a relatively iconic part of this. And doing a little bit of research on him for this, other than the big four, Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman, he's the only villain to appear in all three seasons.
Oh, interesting.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, and then occasionally he gets like cameos in like Batman the Brave and the Bold and some other stuff. Apparently he made his comic book debut in 2009.
Oh,
So
interesting.
a very long time after the fact.
I
But
wonder what that was like.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of like him. He brings a very different vibe than the
I
traditional Batman villains. Yeah.
So as of this recording, I've only watched the first part of this story. I'm into him. He's very cool.
Yeah. I get the feeling that he might exist for the same reasons a lot of the season 2 episodes of Star Trek happened, where it's like, where they would go to like a themed planet where like this is, Gangsterland Chicago, or this is the haunted house planet. This planet looks like ancient Rome. It's because they had access to like these sets and costumes. I have a feeling Fox just had a bunch of Pharaoh shit, and they're just like, well, we don't have to make new stuff, so just make an Egyptian themed villain for
Well,
Batman.
I feel like they kind of like that's how they explain his hideout in this
Yeah.
episode.
I've got lots of opinions on his hideout and props and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, should we get into it?
Yeah, I would say let's get into it.
All right. We start at Gotham Central Park. Citizens are just having a nice time. And then some goons wearing like plastic sphinx masks or like pharaoh tomb masks or something roll up and like place this giant gold statue in the middle of the park. And then they proceed to just take their masks off in the middle of the park. And I'm just left wondering what the point of it all was.
Yeah, it was weird.
Um, from this giant, they call it a sphinx, but like it's not
It's not.
really, yeah, it's not what
It's
I
like
think of, at least when I think of
it
a
looks
sphinx.
more like the Satanic Church's like Devil of Bahamut. I
Baphomet,
think
yeah.
Baphomet. Yeah. Sorry, this isn't Final Fantasy. It looks much more like that, or it's like I think it's supposed to be like a jackal-headed like person.
Yeah, it's like Anubis or something. It's not
Yeah.
the Sphinx.
Yeah. It's like the reverse Sphinx, where it's like the Sphinx is supposed to have a person's face in an animal body. This is like a human body in an animal head.
Yeah, pretty sure it's Anubis.
Yeah, it looks like it. I reference Anubis later through it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's a lot of unresearched writing. I feel like this is back when everybody thought Egyptians were white people.
Yeah, and they were literally magic or something.
Yeah. A voice comes from the statue claiming that Gotham City belongs to a king who is going to be returning. I thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a
Like this
very
is so
different.
different.
Yeah, very different inciting incident.
Yeah. Um, so like I don't know what we're 20, so we got 26 episodes behind us. And this is the first kind of like I'm going to take over the world scheme, I feel like. Or he doesn't even want to take over the world. He believes Gotham City is like the reincarnation of, I don't know, Thebes or something.
Yeah,
Uh, but it's pretty cool. It's the first kind of villain like this.
Yeah, because normally it would be like they're robbing something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, we go to police headquarters. Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara are like, this has got to be a publicity stunt from the museum. They have a new ancient Egyptian exhibit. So they call up Bruce Wayne, who's the treasurer for the museum. Bruce Wayne has a lot of jobs, I feel like, or he wears a lot of hats,
Yeah, he definitely does. He keeps real busy.
which is like pretty wild considering he's also Batman.
Yeah.
But I guess it helps to have your like finger on the pulse all over the city.
I mean, he keeps getting him involved. It keeps getting him benefits and all these different capers.
True. Uh Gordon's like, hey, Bruce, this has gone way too far. Like this publicity stunt is upsetting people. It's disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Bruce is like, I don't know what you're talking about. So Gordon hangs up and then proceeds to call Batman.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny when he calls Bruce Wayne, like Commissioner's calling for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, they do make a big deal about that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, that's weird. It is funny that he immediately calls him Batman. He has to make two excuses to go talk to him because they were going to take Aunt Harriet to the exhibit, and like she's a real Egyptophile, and it's like nothing makes me happier than a new ancient Egyptian of exhibit. I'm like, you must not get a lot of pleasures in life.
Yeah, and when inevitably when Bruce and Dick abandon her to
Yeah,
become Batman and Robin, she's the most pissed off I've ever seen her.
yeah, and she's
She's like,
abandoned by them a lot.
yeah. So I believe that she's an Egyptophile, if you will.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of backstory at police headquarters. Batman uh has arrived. Uh and he's like, oh, this must be the work of King Tut.
So
Who
yeah, I was going to say. So when it started, I was like, oh, I wonder if King Tut's a new character because I was like, there's no way like you would a crazy Egyptian thing happened. Like, why would you have an Egyptian pharaoh themed guy like super criminal in your town? When he said, "Oh, this must be the work of King Tut," I'm like, why did you jump to that much sooner?
Yeah, well, they do say it seems he didn't perish in that warehouse fire after all.
Still, like, I was like, oh man. Like the
Yeah.
first episode of the show, like it looked like the Riddler died in something. Apparently, is apparently a pretty common thing where these people just don't die.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I thought this was pretty interesting just in that all of the villains from the comic books have been treated as recurring villains on their first episode, whereas show exclusive villains, we usually get their origin.
Yeah, I was about to say because I wrote down like, wow, a village and origin story because they're about to explain like the origin of King Tut.
Yeah, do you want to go into that?
Yeah, let's do it because this is about when they say it. Like, because Batman's like, hey, he's a sick person. It's not entirely his fault. Because he is. I gotta pull up his real name. Oh, he's also one of the few people that gets like a civilian, like normal person name too.
Yeah, not many people do.
He was William Omaha McElroy, a highly regarded professor of Egyptology at Yale University. There were protests. It was the '60s, so I guess Vietnam or civil rights or something. And rocks are thrown. He got hit in the head with a rock, and then like as if he was on the Flintstones, he wakes up with a completely different personality, believing he's the reincarnation of King Tut and that Gotham is Thebes, and is just like, well, this is my city. I'm taking it over.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool if you ask me.
Yeah. There's worse origin stories.
For sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, we don't really ever get into like the triggering event for these, super criminals.
Yeah, they just are.
They just like exist the way they do.
Let's see. They explained Zelda the Great and Mr. Freeze at one point. But like that's been it so far.
Yeah,
Like Joker, Riddler, all those guys, yeah, they just are bad guys.
yeah, insane bad guys. Uh, so yeah, Batman and Robin, they're on the case. We cut to King Tut's palace, which is a leftover, like Egyptian themed exhibit from last year's Gotham City exhibition.
Dude, it is so elaborate and like it looks like a set, but like in the reality of the show, like that's all real stuff. That is so expensive. Like if they just sold that, they'd be like criminal, like Matt, like set for life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that you can explain it away by saying that's not
That's
King
not what he
Tut's
wants,
goal.
but yeah, like
That's definitely what his goons want.
yeah, it's freaking insane.
I yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like he's got the most expensive lair of any of the villains we've seen so far. Because most of the time they're in like some sort of abandoned factory or warehouse or something that they've kind of turned into like a theme thing around them.
Yeah. But like, so my thing is, who just built this and then abandoned it?
Yeah, and like how did he all right, so it's leftover stuff from like a previous exhibit. And like in theory, since he was a professor in Egyptology, he might have been curating like the exhibit or something so he could have had access to it. But like all of this stuff would be so difficult to move.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy that's kind of just been bombed on the head. You know what I mean? It's not like he had vast underground organization, like a network of criminals ahead of time that he could just activate.
Yeah. Which leads me to like my big kind of hang up with him. He has these goons, like
Yeah,
the royal vizier or whatever, and someone
yeah,
else. He has all these like ladies who are just like laying around everywhere. And it's like we hear these goons talking to each other, like, what are we doing?
yeah.
Like, why can't we just sell the Sphinx statue and make a boatload of money? Like all they have all these hangups, but they still work for this guy who's obvious, who they know, like truly believes he's the reincarnation of King Tut.
Yeah, and they know that that's bullshit.
Yeah, just like I get it, you're a criminal. You got to do what you got to do to survive, but this guy does not, he doesn't have the resources that the other criminals have, like you were saying.
And
Like,
then he's also like, you're a peasant and he's a king. The power dynamic. I granted the power dynamic with like the Riddler and stuff's not great either, but at least he doesn't have illusions of being a god king.
yeah, it's
Um,
just really weird that,
but like they make an offhanded comment about him being off his rocker, but like he knows what he's doing or whatever. But I think it's because he's like, well, this is my plan to like get rid of Batman and Robin, and then like because the whole thing I think is like subterfuge, like they're trying to keep them away from whatever their real plan is.
yeah, yeah,
So they're kind of like distracting him with this whole Sphinx thing.
yeah, and we learned that here. Back at the park, Batman and Robin are investigating the Sphinx. Uh, And I feel like the Sphinx kind of calls them out, like challenges them to.
Yeah. Well, this scene's kind of funny because it shows like the limitations of the production. So it's like the same 20 extras in the park, and then the whole rest of the park is just empty, like all behind them. It's really funny. Like I once I noticed that like every other scene in the park, like it's really funny how empty it is.
Well, they're all crowded around this Sphinx.
And like one person like deep like lying around it. So it's not like it's supposed to be like a crowd, and they're all like different like genres of citizen. Like it looks really eclectic and weird.
Yeah,
They don't look like normal people. I
yeah.
don't know.
Especially if this is supposed to be like New York Central Park.
Yeah. Which is what I feel like it's implied to be like a main hub.
Yeah, for sure. Uh Dynamic Duo, they're investigating. There's a secret blade that kind of pops out, but they easily avoid it. Uh, one of King Tut's goons, his hench lady for the day, Nefertiti,
Yep.
sends King Tut a signal, and then very openly just starts walking through the park.
Yeah. I think she was supposed to be a distraction because she lures Batman and Robin to her, and that's when like a bunch of like heavy goons show up to fight them, with, like swords and stuff.
Yes. So they confront her and she throws like a exploding snake or something at them.
Yeah, it was like a piece of snake jewelry she had. She throws it at him, it explodes because Robin goes, "Holy asp!"
Ah, love it.
Yeah,
Yeah. We get a little fight scene here. Nothing too crazy, and Batman kind of figures out the whole play.
yeah.
The goons are just there to kind of divert Batman and Robin away from the Egyptian exhibit at the museum.
Which of course that's what he's going to want to get involved with.
Truly, yeah. Uh, it's crazy that these super criminals show up every week. And the cops aren't like, okay, like, we know this guy's deal. Like, here's the Mad Hatter. And there's also the Gotham City Hat Convention.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, put all your guys there.
Yeah, they're clearly going to go to these places where their themed thing is like happening and there's
Yeah.
valuables related to it. Like, oh, we just got mysterious, like we got priceless cat statues and Catwoman's not in jail. Like
Yeah. Just be on your guard. Uh we cut to the museum.
they'll say, yeah, Batman's changed back into Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And he's leading a tour.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a crowd of like reporters, I guess. This is kind of like a press tour.
Yeah.
Give me a second to confirm. But I'm pretty sure that this black reporter like reprises this role in the movie.
Oh, really?
He looked super familiar to me, but maybe maybe I'm just
You're saying all black people look alike.
yeah, But let's take a look. Where are the episodes?
What are you on IMDb?
Yeah. Season 1. Wild that we're still in season 1.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Season
Actually,
2 is longer, man.
I mean, I'm fine with it. It just feels nuts. I'm gonna run the microwave while we're
There, I'll pause this.
So yeah, that's Emmanuel Thomas, who plays a reporter in the Batman movie too.
A good catch. I don't even remember there being reporters in the movie.
It's like right at the beginning when like Catwoman is introduced as Miss Kitka after the exploding shark incident.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. I watched that movie a lot.
I watched it a lot too. That doesn't stick out to me.
Yeah, I can just call him when I see him. There's Commodore Schmidlap in another role. Here's this guy.
Yeah, I did recognize Commodore Schmidlap, that actor. What he was the king of something, right?
Yeah,
In
something
an
like
earlier episode.
Yeah, I think it was like a Joker or Riddler plot.
It was Riddler because he kidnapped him.
That's right, with the Rat Gang.
Yeah, with the River Rats. Yep.
So yeah, Bruce is doing this tour. And we come to a sarcophagus. And
Yep.
I forget, does it open on its own or does he open it?
I think they open it, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, you don't just open an ancient sarcophagus like during a tour. You do that in like a protected area.
Yeah, because like the air will destroy the body.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah.
But it doesn't destroy this body because wouldn't you know it, the Pharaoh is alive.
Yeah. They're like, wow, it's so well preserved. And then like his eyes start moving. I think he sits up, right?
He's already kind of standing up. He like falls over.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, this is supposed to be the king that is returning to life.
Yeah.
That the Sphinx was talking about in the
That
park.
they prophesized.
The prophecy. Bruce is really playing like he believes all of this is happening.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah. I think we got more Bruce Wayne than Batman in this episode.
Yeah, or at least, yeah, definitely. Or at least maybe Bruce had more to do than Batman.
Yeah. Or at least as much screen time, I feel.
Yeah. Some orderlies show up like from a hospital to like, I don't know what they're planning on doing with this mummy.
Well, I guess they like need to check him out, so I think they just wanted to take him to the hospital, like
Yeah.
the museum or whatever. I mean, the orderlies are King Tut's goons.
Yes. So Bruce accompanies the goons and the mummy. And yeah, surprise, it's the bad guys, and they knock Bruce Wayne out.
Yeah. And they kidnap him. And then King Tut gets out of his mummy costume, which is really fake and bad with a big zipper in the back, like a mascot costume. And just kind of like stuffs it in a drawer in the museum. And then like, but he's in full King Tut outfit underneath and just kind of straightens his belt and walks away. I thought that, I don't know, something about that was very, very amusing to me.
And then when you have a millionaire hostage, who are you gonna call?
The cops, I guess.
You didn't recognize the car they drove away in?
Oh, really? That was a Cadillac that became the not the exact car, but like the model that became the Ecto one.
I don't know if it was the exact model, like exact year and all that, but yeah, it's that car.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh snap, there it is.
Yeah, because I know it was a Cadillac ambulance.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact make and model offhand,
it's
but
like a Miller Meteor or something it's called.
I forget exactly what it was.
I
I think
almost
because the one when they got it, I don't think it was white in Ghostbusters or originally before they changed. Like I think I remember it having different colors with
black.
this one.
It was black when they rolled up with it, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah.
This one, whereas this one's white, so I didn't put two and two together in my brain.
Yeah.
It just looked like an old timey 60s like ambulance.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the car.
Yeah. One thing that's crazy. So they have Batman on a strapped to a gurney, knocked out in it. those things, their wheels can lock. He is rattling all over the place in the back of this thing. Like, what a terrible way to like treat your valuable hostage.
Listen, they're not real
I
orderlies.
know they're not real orderlies, but they should be like real criminals.
They work for
King
a
Tut.
man who thinks he is King Tut.
Yeah.
They're at the bottom of the barrel, dude. They don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make a couple extra bucks for their kids or something.
Yeah.
Uh at the palace of King Tut,
Yeah.
because somehow he gets back to the palace. Where are they taking Bruce Wayne? Do they say?
I don't think so. I think they're just taking him somewhere.
Yeah, I would assume they would take him to the hideout, but
I mean, maybe they're just keeping him
that's not.
mobile
Yeah,
because they might need to take him to like a drop point at some point somewhere.
yeah, yeah. Maybe this scene doesn't take place at the palace. I forget. Anyway, King Tut is so pissed that Nefertiti is eating a hot dog.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be his queen, and that's such like common or lowbrow food.
Yeah, King Tut. I hate to tell you, hot dogs delicious.
Depends on the hot dog.
True. I think with the right grilling technique, any hot dog
Yeah,
can be made delicious.
you can make good hot dogs. I think they taste best when you're at a baseball game, but that's me.
I hear you. I hear you. Maybe I should go to one soon. Anyway, the Sphinx starts talking again, or at least Nefertiti starts talking through the Sphinx. Uh, the prophecy has come to pass, and the king has returned. And with that, King Tut takes the mic and he tells the city that Bruce Wayne is their hostage. Because that's exactly what the citizens want to hear from their new king.
Yeah, and a king would definitely need to take people hostage to get money.
Yeah. Gordon calls the Batcave. He gets Robin. Uh, Gordon's real upset because one of the city's most prominent millionaires, Bruce Wayne, has
Yeah,
been kidnapped.
I wonder how many millionaires the city has.
Yeah. And also, like, just it doesn't make him more important than anyone else.
Oh, it does. He gives them lots of money, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Robin doesn't know where Batman is, though. So
Which is true.
it is true. Things are looking pretty dire for the good guys. Uh, so with that, we cut back to Bruce Wayne and the goons.
Hmm.
They're driving up this like winding mountain road. And like you're saying, Bruce Wayne, his gurney is just sliding all over the place.
Yeah.
Uh, the back door of the ambulance pops open. And
Yeah. I didn't misremember that. Like it just pops open. Bruce Wayne didn't do anything like Batman trickery, right?
not that I noticed,
Yeah.
it just
It
seemed
just
to,
it just happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I missed something like when I was looking down to write a note. Yeah, it just pops open and out he goes.
Yeah. Because like so this is the episode cliffhanger. Like he's rolling down this mountain, is gonna fly off a cliff. But like he was already kidnapped. That's a good enough cliffhanger. That's been kind of the cliffhanger before. Where Bruce Wayne's in trouble and not Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this will save them from having to do a whole rescue or escape operation.
I guess, but that would have been fun and exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how this plays out. It's
I don't
just
either.
pretty
We
wild.
we've only watched the first episode as of recording.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, Bruce is rolling fast towards a cliff, and the most horrendous is yet to come.
just pretty great way to end anything.
Yeah, I love this narrator guy.
He's pretty great.
One of the best parts of the
Yeah. So
show.
what do you think of King Tut?
I fucking love King Tut.
I think he's great. He's the right level of hammy and scene chewing for something like this. And we should probably give his actor a shout out.
Yeah, it's like Victor Buono.
Victor Buono.
Yeah. Is he in Star Trek?
I'm probably everyone's in Star Trek at this point.
Like he looks familiar to me, and I don't know if it's just because I've seen pictures of this guy a lot.
I mean, look him up.
What the deal is.
But like, yeah, especially if you're a character actor, you were in like Star Trek at some point.
Let's see what happens if I Google it.
He's from Planet Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Maybe that's what you know him from.
Oh, that could be it. I did just watch all the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he was in Star Trek.
So especially if you just watch those, yeah, that's probably what you remember him. But looks like he was in just like a lot of stuff.
Oh no. Is he Mud?
I don't is he?
Hold up. I'll have an answer in just a moment. No.
Yeah, I didn't think he was. No, it doesn't look like he was in Star Trek. But now we know. Oh, apparently he has a quote on his role as King Tut on Batman. Being on Batman allowed me to do something we actors are taught never to do: overact. So I think he does it well. It's a fun character so far.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Give me more Tut. So you said he made his comic book debut. Maybe before we record the next part of this, I'll try to find that.
Say 2009, I might actually have that issue.
Yeah.
Because I was definitely like deep in when we were doing comics and stuff.
2009. Is that like Grant Morrison time?
No, I think that was before then. Yeah, let me pull them up in the comics. As Batman Confidential 26. Well, that wasn't a book I was getting. But
Yeah, me neither. Well, yeah, maybe I'll try to find it, but
well, cover's pretty cool. I mean, the cover's The Curse of King Tut, which is similar to the title of this. And it says first time ever in Gotham at the top. And it shows like the picture is King Tut in the middle, and then like one side's like Thebes, and it kind of transitions to Gotham, like in the background. You know, like it's a reincarnation of it. It's pretty
I
cool.
just pulled it up. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Huh. Maybe I'll give it a read.
Yeah, I might seek this out. It looks like a not necessarily a gritty reboot of the character, but like it's definitely more in line with like modern comic sensibilities than
For
this.
sure. Which is less interesting to me,
Yeah.
but still could be fun.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm glad somebody gave it a shot
Yeah.
adapting.
Yeah, I wonder if like Egghead and some of the other characters made for the show like are in the comics now.
Yeah, maybe as we get to them, we'll look it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But I think that's it for me for this episode.
Yeah, that's all I got. So we'll catch you back here in a week or two. Same Batcast time, same Batcast channel.